this morning we discuss about statistic approach in industry, and the application is to develop a quality control system. That means that we will try to control the quality of the products based on statistical data. Like that. Previously, actually, we have used statistical data, but the objective is to forecast the demand. To forecast the demand. So in demand forecasting, actually, we already use statistical approach. And we use, I think, linear programming, not linear equation, linear equation to predict the demand in the future. So we try to interpolate, after we know the pattern of the demand in the past, then we try to interpolate in order to predict the demand in the future, like that. And this evening, we will use statistical data to control the quality of the products, And the tool called as statistical quality control, and sometimes it's short become SQC. So when you heard, when you hear about SQC, now you understand. SQC stands for statistical quality control. Okay, for the introduction, as consumer, we expect the products we purchase to function as intended. When we purchase a product, of course, we expect the product functioning as intended. However, producer of products know that it is not always possible to inspect every product and every aspect of the production process at all time. We can imagine. Let's say we talk about mass production system. The production system, they produce a lot of products. Then, in order to check the quality of the products one by one, it is almost impossible. Because it will be very time consuming and also very hard to do. You can check. You can try to imagine. If as manager, for example, if we need to check the products one by one, and the number of products, let's say 1,000 per month, it will be very hard. Sometimes, as human, also we cannot, check the product in detail. See, so in this condition, then, we can use statistic approach, because by using statistic approach, we don't need to check all of the products. We just need to take sample. We just need to take some of the products, and based on this sample, based on this few products, then we can try to generalize the condition of all of the products like that. The challenge is to design ways to maximize the ability to monitor the quality of products being produced and eliminate the defects. In one side, we cannot check the product one by one. So the challenge is how to design a system to maximize the ability to monitor the quality of products being produced. And then the idea is to ensure a quality of products is to build quality into the process. That's the idea. Instead of we check the final products after produced, it's better for us to make sure we build quality in the process. So when the process is good, then we can believe. When the process of the products, when the production process is good, then we believe and the product will be good as well. So that's a challenge. How to develop, how to build a quality, to be embedded in the process, so that the production process can produce good products like that. That's the idea. And then after that, one of the tools to develop, to build quality in the process is SQC, statistical quality control. The question is, what is SQC? SQC is the term used to describe the set of statistical tool. Okay. So after this, you will understand we will use not only one tool in statistics, but we will use more than one tools in statistics. And then we will use it to develop or to build quality for our production process. Statistical quality control can be divided into three broad categories. This one. Descriptive statistics are used to describe quality characteristic and relationship. So here we will use mean. Mean is average. I think you already learned about this in senior high school. About the mean value, it is like like average value. Standard deviation, I think you already know about this as well. And the range. The range is the maximum and the minimum data, and then we subtract it. We subtract the maximum data with the minimum data, we got the range of the data. For example, number from 1 to 0. Sorry, from 1 to 10. From 1 to 10. We know the maximum value is 10, the minimum is 1. So if we want to measure the range of this set of data, we just need to subtract 10 with 1, the maximum value with the minimum value. When we subtract it, we got 9. So we can say that the range of the set of this data is 9. From where? From 10 minus 1. Yeah, that's the meaning of range. And measure of the distribution of data. Of course, we also need to know the distribution of the data. Yeah, it can be normal distribution, it can be log normal, it can be uniform, and so on. Later we discuss about that.
Sir, is it the way that using also in project budget the same way?
Come again? I cannot hear your voice clearly.
Yes, yeah, sir. SQC, is it the way that being used also in project budget?
No. We use it to control the products, yeah, for manufacturing.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Now let's continue. Yeah, statistical process control. Okay, because we build the quality in the process. Sometimes it's called as SPC, statistical process control. Yeah, involves inspecting a random sample. See, we don't want to inspect all of the products one by one. No, it will be time and cost consuming. So it's better for us to take random sample. Yeah, random sample of the output from a process. So the way to develop to build quality in the process is just take a sample from the finished products. After that, we can try to evaluate the quality of the process. Like that. That's the idea. Yeah. So here we also need to know the acceptance sampling. Yeah. Acceptance sampling means that the technique, the technique to define which product that can be sampled for our measurement. Okay. Issues in SQC. Okay. In order to build quality in the process, actually, yeah, the objective is to minimize or to reduce the variation of the products and the variation of the products. You can imagine, yeah, if you have mineral water around you, let's say you have more than one bottles, you can try to compare. Yeah, you can try to compare the bottles. I mean the water level. Yeah, even though you have exactly same mineral water, exactly same brands, yeah, that produced by same company, when you try to compare the water level, yeah, even though the volume is same, usually 330 ml, right? So when you try to compare the water level, it is not exactly same. It means that there is variation. Yeah. So if the variation is very high, it means that the process is not good. Yeah. If the variation is very high, it means that the process is not good. Like that. Yeah. So we know Intel Corporation. This is owned by Israel. Yeah. Okay, but produce our computer processor. Yeah. Has implemented a program called Copy Exactly. Copy Exactly. It means that they try to reduce. Yeah. They try to reduce the variation of the products. But what happened? Yeah, in the reality, when we try to compare the speed of our computer, even though we have exactly same computer with exactly same spec, when we try to compare the speed of the computer, it will be different. Even though the jargon is copy exactly, but when we try to compare the speed of the processor, yeah, between two exactly same laptop, it will be different. It means that, yeah, there is some variation. So if the variation is very high, then we cannot say the process is good. But if the variation is still under control, it means that not very high, relatively low, so we can say the process is good. Like that. So the objective is we need to make sure, yeah, that the variation of the process is low, relatively low. Like that. Okay. Now let's talk about the variation in deep. Yeah. The first called as common or random cause of variation. Variation caused by a process that very hard to be identified. Okay, let's say a level of water in aqua bottle. You know, aqua is like mineral water, yeah, mineral water. Level of water in mineral water. We know the process of the bottling process, yeah, the process of bottling handled by automatic machine. Handled by automatic machine, not manual, right? So even though the company already use automatic machine and the operator just need to set the machine, let's say just set the volume equals to 330 ml of the turn on the machine, Then even though already handled by automatic machine, but when we try to compare, yeah, the water level of two bottles that exactly same, yeah, then it will be different. Yeah. So in this situation, it is very hard, yeah, to solve it. Why? We already use automatic machine. We don't want to use manual operation. We already use. We just need to set the volume of the water that flow out from the machine, like that. But still, yeah, we have variation. If like that, it is very hard to solve, and it called as common or random causes of variation. And the second, yeah, assignable causes of variation, and this is easier, yeah, to solve. Variation caused by a factor that can be identified. Okay, for example, defect caused by human error. Okay, if we use manual operation, then after that, yeah, our product is not good, then we can identify the problem. Maybe the problem is unskilled worker. Yeah, our worker is low in skill. So the solution is we just send our worker to have some training, to have some capacity building in order to improve the skill, like that. So it is easier, yeah, to solve compared to the first. Yeah, in the first example, random causes of variation is very hard to solve. We already use automatic machine. We don't want to use manual operation, but we still have variation. Then how to solve? Yeah, and it is unpredictable. Okay, so then let's continue. Now, we go slightly in deep, yeah, about the statistical approach. Yeah, the first we need to know, yeah, how to calculate the mean value. Mean is like average value, right? So here, when we try to see the equation, it is just normal, yeah, normal average value. We try to sum of the data. After that, we divide by the number of data. Then we call mean value, or we call the average value. So mean is like mean equals to average value. Range, I already explained about this, yeah, maximum data minus minimum data. And then for SD, SD stands for standard deviation. We use this equation. Okay, so then we just imagine we said we have set of data. Let's say we have 10 data like that. Yeah. So the data will be X. Yeah, X. So here, if we try to calculate the standard deviation of the data, then we need to subtract every data with the average of the data. After that, we square it. Yeah. If we have more than one data, we sum it. After we got the sum, we divide by number of data minus 1. Why minus 1? Because we take sample, not population. Please remember, initially, at the beginning, already explained you. Yeah, it is almost impossible for us to inspect all of the products. So the best way to inspect the quality of the product is we take sample, not the population. We take sample, not all of the products. Because we take sample statistically, yeah, we must use this one, n minus 1, number of data minus 1. Yeah, not number of data, but number of data minus 1. Yeah, okay, so then, and after that, yeah, after that we square root it. Yeah, we square root it in order to get the standard deviation of the data. Okay, so then, now why we need to consider standard deviation? Okay, like this, yeah. If the standard deviation of the data is like this, can you see my cursor? So then, because I explain using my cursor.
Yes,
Can you
yes,
see my
sir.
cursor? Okay. When the standard deviation is very large, like this, it means that the variation of the product is very high. When the variation is very high, then we cannot say the process is good. So, yeah, if we after we measure the products, and we found the standard deviation is very large like this, then it is the time for us to repair our machine. Yeah. After we repair our machine, after we maintain our machine, then after that we can check again. Yeah. And the objective is to make it like this. Yeah. You can see the small standard deviation. Yeah. If like this, it means the variation of the product is not very big or very high. So we can reduce. Yeah. So we can reduce the variation of the products. It means that we already improve the quality. We already build the quality in the process. Like that. How about if we have different condition like this? At the second, you can see, yeah. At the second, even though we have small standard deviation, but when the curve is like this, skew to the right. Yeah, skew to the right. It means that the target already shift to the right. Okay. Like this, yeah, student. Okay, for example, yeah, the target is to flow out the water. I take from the previous example, yeah, for example, in the bottling company, the target is to flow out 330 ml, milliliter. Okay, the target is 330, but yeah, but in the reality, the volume is, let's say, yeah, just for example, 400, yeah, 400 ml. But the variation is very low, very small. Let's say the first product is 400, exactly 400. It is good. Not sorry, yeah. Same with the target. Even though not good, yeah, because the target is 330, yeah. And the second product is, let's say, 399 ml. The third product is 401 ml. The fourth product is not 400 again. The fifth product is, let's say, 398, for example. So if like this, yeah, the variation of the product is very small, but already shift from the target. The target is 330, but now, yeah, our product is around 400. Even though the variation is very small, but we cannot say, yeah, we cannot say the process is good. The variation, yes, small, but yeah, the target already shift, yeah, from the original target. If like that, it's same. It is time for us to maintain our machine. Okay, student.
Okay,
So
sir.
far, any question, please? No question? Still clear, yeah? Let's continue. Technically, how? How to control the quality of the products? Technically, we will use control chart. Yeah, control chart as SQC tool. So here, what is control chart? A graph that shows, yeah, whether a sample of data falls within the common or normal range of variation. We know we want to reduce the variation, but we cannot make it equals to zero exactly. Cannot. Yeah, we cannot remove at all, yeah, the variation. It is very hard, and even though we can do it, it will be costly. Yeah, we need to have very perfect machine and use, and sometimes the purchase price, the price of the machine will be very expensive, and we don't want it. Yeah, we don't want to purchase machine like that. Yeah, it means that like this. Yeah, okay, student, we can try to implement to ourselves. Yeah, for example, when you go to hospital or when you go to bank system, for example. Yeah, after that, when the manager of the bank asks you, yeah, to wait, let's say 1 minute. Do you want to wait 1 minute? Hello?
Yes, can.
Yes, still okay for you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, for example, you have to wait 2 minutes. Is it okay for you?
Still okay.
Still okay. 5 minutes?
Okay, somehow.
Somehow, okay. How about if 10 minutes? Still okay, right? But when I say 1 hour, definitely you don't want, right? If you have to wait 1 hour, definitely you don't want. What I'm trying to say is, yeah, actually, yeah, some variations still tolerable. Yeah, the customer still can tolerate, yeah, some variation like that. So yeah, it's better for us, yeah, to have a low, not exactly zero variation, but yeah, we try to reduce the variation. So how to reduce this one? Yeah, we need to develop control chart. Yeah, and based on this control chart, when our products still fall between the control chart, we still can say the process is still good, even though there is variation. But when the variation is still under control, yeah, in between this range, yeah, like that, and this one called as control chart, then we still can believe that the process is still good. The customer still can accept our products like that. Okay, and yeah, a control chart has upper and lower control limits that separate common from ascertainable causes of variation. Yeah, in order to control, yeah, because we already know we will use control chart, of course, yeah. In a control chart, there will be upper control limit and lower control limit. So if the product is still in between this area, in this control limit, then we still can believe, we still believe that the process is still good. And then, okay, sudah, we have chat here. Oh, I forgot to record, ya. Can be recorded. There is no record button here. Okay, record on the cloud. Stop. Okay, okay, you will see. Yes, okay, and let me record again this computer. Okay, okay, sudah. I already record, ya. After this, I will share the file to you. If you need, then you can review again, ya, the material. We say that process is out of control when a plot of data, okay, because we will work not only with single data, ya, we will work with a set of data, but not all of the data. We already take the sample. We already know that we need to take sample, not of the data, yeah. So when we plot the data, reveals that one or more samples fall outside the control limits. Okay, if we have more than one data, even only one data, but already out of control, then we cannot say the process is still good. So at the time, it's better for us to maintain, to repair, our machine. And then, okay, sudah, it will be like this, If we talk about control chart, it will be like this. There is upper control limit and the center line, and also the lower control limit. And usually the center line is the target. In the previous example, if the target is to flow out the water at 330 ml, then the 330 will be the center line. After that, we also need to know the upper control limit, maybe 335, and the lower control limit, maybe 325, like that. So, if the product is still, in this area, then we still believe the process is still good. We believe the process is still good, like that. Okay, student. The question is how to define, the upper control limit and the lower control limit. On the center line, yes, we know it will be the target. So here from the explanation, you can read, usually set at 3 standard deviation from the mean. So after we calculate the mean, after we calculate the average value, after that we can calculate the standard deviation of the data. So we multiply the standard deviation of the data. Then after that, the center line plus 3 times standard deviation will be in the upper control limit, and then center line minus 3 standard deviation will be in the lower control limit. And then, okay, student. And here we also can have several control limit. If we want to if we want to accept a lot of products, then we can use 3 times the deviation. But if we want to be more accurate, then we can use only 2 standard deviation. So if we use 2 standard deviation, so the acceptance area will be from here to here. So if we have products, for example, when we plot it here, then we need to reject this product. But if we use 3 standard deviation, then the acceptance area will be wider. So it depends on the objective. If we want to be very strict with the quality, then it's better for us to use 2 standard deviation. Like that. Okay, now let's talk about the type of control chart. There are 2 types of control chart. The first called as variable, the second called as attribute. Variable used to monitor characteristics that can be measured. For example, if we want to control the quality of the product based on the height, because we can measure the height of the products, then we use variable control chart. If we want to control the quality of the product based on the weight or volume, since we can measure the weight or volume of the products, then we use variable control chart. Okay, sudah. And the second type of control chart called as attribute. Yeah, attribute, see, used to monitor characteristics that have discrete values and can be counted. Often they can be evaluated with a simple yes or no decision. For example, yeah, we want to control the quality of the products based on the color, based on the taste, or based on the smell. Okay, if we try to control, yeah, okay, using based on the taste, then we will say this the taste is good or no, only good or no. We cannot measure the taste. Yeah, only good or not good, like that. So if only good or not good, then we cannot use variable. We must use attribute, yeah, control chart. Also color, yeah, color. We can say the color is bright, yeah, or dark, yeah, bright or dark, yes or no, like that. Yeah, so we cannot measure because we cannot measure. Then we cannot use variable control chart, but we still can use attribute control chart. Also the smell, yeah, the smell is good, the smell is bad, good and bad only, and there is no value in between. If like that, we cannot use variable. We must use attribute. Yeah, like that. Okay, students. Now, yeah, if we talk about control chart, also, yeah, we can use different control chart. It depends on the objective. Okay, the first called as mean or X-bar chart. Yeah, we will use mean or X-bar chart if we want to monitor the change in the mean of process. If we want to monitor the target, yeah, the main target. If the main target already safe, so in order to identify this safe, we must use the mean or X-bar chart. Yeah, center line is defined based on mean value, see, yeah, of several samples. Yeah, we will work with samples, yeah, not all of the data, but just sample, just some of the data, not all of the data, like that. And here, yeah, I think it's normal, yeah, we can use 2 or 3 standard deviation and so on. Okay, now here we have example. Okay, student, please have a look. I give you 1 minute, yeah, to read and have a look and try to understand. After that, we will discuss about this example, please. This is in bottling company, yeah. Taken 25 samples. Number of sample here from 1 until 25. I cut it because the slide is not enough here to display all. So in the second slide, you will see from 13 to 25 data. And every samples here, yeah, it repeated 4 times. Like that. Okay. And also in the machine, there is some information about the standard deviation of the operation. A good machine will have this information. Yeah, standard deviation of the machine. So here, yeah, based on the information, we know the standard deviation is 0.14 ounce. Okay, student. Now you understand, yeah, how to take the sample. Let's say you want to take 30 samples. You cannot take just one. Yeah, 30 products. No. Yeah. The first sample you need to replicate. You need to repeat 4 times or maybe 5 times. Okay, before we discuss about the statistical approach, let me explain how to take the sample correctly. Okay, so then after you define the sample number, it can be 25 or 30, it's up to you. Yeah. After that, you need to take not only one product, yeah, but you need to, let's say, you need to repeat 4 times like this. Okay, sample number here must be random. What does it mean? It means that you can go to the company, you can go to the factory, yeah, at random time. Let's say now you decide, yeah. Let's say you come to the company, after that you decide, now I want to go there. Now I want to take the sample. Okay, when you see the time is, let's say 8 o'clock. Okay, you can go to the factory to take 4 samples. After that, you go back to the office, yeah, to measure the volume here. After that, for the second sample, you cannot set the interval. Every, let's say 30 minutes, I will go to factory. Cannot be like that. Yeah. So you need to set the interval to take the sample randomly. Let's say After 10 minutes, I will go there again to take another 4 samples. After that, not 10 minutes, yeah. After that, let's say after 30 minutes, I will go there again to take 4 samples. After that, after 22 minutes, I will go there again, like that. So the interval must be random. Yeah, that's the meaning of random sampling. The time to go there, the time to go to the factory must be random. Okay, that's the first. The second, when you go to the factory, in order to take the samples, which is 4 samples, you need to close your eyes, and then, yeah, after that you take, yeah, randomly. Yeah, you take randomly. Okay, so then after you take, let's say, 4 samples like this, then you can try to calculate the average value. Okay, because here there are 1, 2, 3, 4 measurement, so we can calculate the average value and also the range. Yeah, the range is the maximum measurement here. What is the maximum? 16.02, and the minimum is 15.83. Yeah, so when we subtract it, we got 0.19. That's the way to calculate the range. Okay, then after that, yeah, this one is the rest of the data. This one under 25. Okay, so after that we can sum, yeah, so we can sum the range, sorry, the average and also the range, yeah, like that. Okay, and based on this, yeah, based on these samples, it means that we have 100 samples, yeah, 25 times 4, only 100. This is bottling company, yeah. We can imagine, yeah, bottling company usually produce more than 1,000 per month, more than 10,000 maybe per month, yeah, more than 10,000 bottles per month. So we take only 100. Yeah, it will be very effective and efficient. Yeah. Okay, now the solution. Okay, first we need to calculate the center line. Yeah, the center line. From where? From here. This one, yeah, this one. Then this number comes from this one. Okay, so when we trace back, yeah, after we calculate the average, yeah, of every samples, we sum it. Then after that, we divide by 25 again in order to get X double bar. We average for the first time. After that, we sum of the average. After we got the sum of the average, we average again. So it will be X double bar. Yeah, it will be the center line, 15.95. Okay, and the control limits are, see, yeah, we will use 3, for example, yeah, can be 2 or can be 3, yeah. So in this example, if we use 3 of the deviation, how to calculate from this information, yeah, this one already print in the machine, yeah, because we use automatic machine. Okay, and divided by square root of 4. 4 here comes from the number of replication. Here we replicate our sample 4 times. So we use square root of 4. Yeah, that's the way to calculate the standard deviation, yeah, in SQC. After that, we got this result as the upper control limit. We do the same, but here we subtract. Yeah, this one we plus, here we minus. Yeah, the 3 of the deviation. Then we got this result as the lower control limit. Okay, so then now we already have the center line, the upper control limit, and the lower control limit. Yeah, based on average value, based on this one, yeah, this one 398.75 comes from the sum of the average value. Yeah, based on the average value, we already have the center line, upper control limit, and lower control limit. So we can draw, yeah, we can draw the control chart like this. This one is center line. This is the upper control limit, and this is the lower control limit. Okay, so then after that, yeah, we plot the average value. We plot the average value. Okay, and based on this graph, we know that there is no data fall, yeah, upper the upper control limit or below the lower control limit. It means that all of the data is still under control. If like that, yeah, we can say that the process is still good in terms of the target. Yeah, in terms of the average value. Average value is the target, right? So the target is this one, yeah. Okay, this one, because it is on the average value, right? Average value. The center line is average value. So here we know that the variation of the average value is not very big. It's not very high. Yeah, so we can say that the process is considered okay. Yeah, still can meet the target like that.
Controllable.
Yeah, but if there are some data that out of control, then yeah, we can say that the machine is not good anymore. The variation is already high. So we need to maintain, yeah, we need to fix our machine before we continue to produce the next products like that. Okay, student, is there any question for this
Sure.
control chart? Yeah, Ika, please. Yes. This one. Yes. Yes. Yes, we can choose to also. It depends on the depends on us, yeah, like that. Yeah, it depends on our customer. If we want to be very strict with the quality, yeah, we can use two. So we can imagine if we use two, then the area will be this one, yeah. The upper control will be here. If here, then this one already rejected. Yeah, it means that it means that we already very strict with the quality. Yeah, we cannot tolerate, yeah, slightly high variation. So if like that, it's okay, no problem. But the logic consequence is, yeah, maybe we need to maintain our maybe we need to maintain our machine frequently like that. Yes, 3 is normal. Yes.
Sir, that means when all the values it's close to the center line, the process is still okay, right?
Yes, good.
All right.
Yeah.
Sir,
Yes.
the result of the range, it's from collect or subtract the maximum and the minimum data.
The result of the range from here.
Is it subtract or no in the
No.
schedule?
First,
The
we need to
subtract or
calculate the
collect?
center line. Okay, let me explain. Yeah.
No,
First, we need to calculate the center line.
yeah, in the previous slide.
Previous slide, this one.
Yeah, the range, is it from collect or subtract the maximum
yeah.
and the minimum?
Okay, let me repeat again my explanation. Range here comes from this data because we repeat every sample 4 times, right? So from here we can identify the maximum value. For example, for the first sample, yeah, there are 4 data. Please focus on this data only. Yeah. Okay, from this 4 data, we can identify the maximum value is 16.02, right?
Yes.
And the minimum data is 15.83. When we subtract this maximum with this minimum, we got this range.
Subtract, yes. I got it.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Okay, clear? Yeah. Okay, but we still haven't used this range value, yeah. We just use the average value. Yeah. In order to develop this control chart, yeah, we still haven't considered the range value. Yeah, we just consider the average value first. Now we continue. Yeah, we can use. Sorry, this is another solution. Yeah, this is another way. Yeah, to calculate. Yeah, we also can use this formula. The center line is still same, but for upper control limit and lower control limit, we can use this formula. But here we use a value. A value. Yeah, a value and also the range. See, yeah, we try to involve the range value. Yeah, but here we need to consider the a value. The a value here comes from the table. I already give this table with my slide. Yeah, okay, from here, this one. Yeah, this is given. Yeah, you can take this table from statistical book, any book. Yeah, in the appendix you can find this this table. Okay, so then. Okay, sample size. Okay, this one, yeah, because we use sample size 4. So the A2 value will be 0.73. Yeah, we repeat every sample, yeah, 4 times. It means that the sample size is 4. Yeah, so here, based on this table, the sample size equals to 4. Yeah, it has A2 equals to 0.73. Okay, so then, so here you remember this one, the value. So here, yeah, when we use this one, A2 equals to 0.73. Then if we implement this formula, we got the same. See, same, right? The UCL and LCL also same. Yeah, same if we use the previous formula. So it depends. Yeah, it's up to you whether you want to use this formula or you want to use the previous formula. It's up to you. Yeah? In our exam, I will give this table, or you can even though you can take yeah, because it will be take home exam, so you can refer to this table as well. No problem. Yeah. Okay, so then and after that, yeah, then okay for this one, the average value. Is there any question? The control chart based on average value. Is there any question? Clear, yeah? Okay, if clear, then we continue, yeah, to develop control chart based on range value. Yeah, based on range value. This one, R chart, used to monitor the dispersion or variability of the process. Previously, we used this control chart, yeah. We use this control chart to make sure all of the product is still on the target. Now, yeah, we want to evaluate, yeah, the dispersion, the variation, yeah, of the products. We use this one R chart. Previously, we use X bar chart. Now we will try to develop R chart. Yeah. Okay, the R chart, the CL, the center line, equals to average of range. Average of range. Okay. Let me go back to the previous slide. This one. Okay, this is the range. After that, yeah, we sum it, we got this value. After that, if we divide this value with 25, then we will get the average value of the range. It will be in the center line. Yeah, okay. Which one? This one, yeah. And the UCL, yeah, and the UCL, upper control limit, yeah, we need D4, and for the LCL, we need D3 value. This D4 and D3 comes from the previous table, from here. D4, sorry, and D3. Yeah, the sample size is 4. So now, yeah, please remember the value. Yeah, please memorize it. For D3, it equals to 0. For D4, it equals to 2.28. Please memorize it. Okay. Now you memorize, yeah, the D3 and D4 value. So here, if we implement here, this one, yeah, the R bar, yeah, equals to 7.17 from the previous, from this table, yeah. This one, 7.17, and the sum of the range value divide by 25, the number, sample number, yeah. This one divide by 25, yeah, we got 0.29. Okay, it will be the center line, and the upper control limit, yeah, we use D4 value, which is 2.28 times the range, this one from here. Okay, and we got 0.66. Okay, on the lower control limit, we use D3 value, which is 0, times the the center line. Yeah, so we got 0. So here we can imagine, yeah, this is the center line, this is the upper control limit, and 0 will be in the lower control limit. We draw it, this one. 0 is the lower control limit, this is the center line, and this is the upper control limit. Okay. Now we need to plot the range. Please be careful, not the average value, but the range value. Yeah, we plot the range value. This one. This is the range value. Okay, this one, yeah. This one. Yeah, we plot this data. Okay. Yeah. And this is the result. Okay. So from this result, we still can say, yeah, we can say that our machine is still good. Yeah, the variation is not very big, not very high. Yeah, still under control. So in this time, we don't need to repair our machine. We don't need to maintain our machine, because based on the target, still can achieve the target. Based on the interval, based on the variation, is still very low. Yeah, still under control. So the machine is still good. And then, okay, student.
Okay.
For example, just for example, another case. Yeah, another case. Based on this chart, based on the average chart, yeah, based on the X bar chart, maybe still okay. It means that the machine still can achieve the target. But based on the R chart, for example, some of the data out of control. If like that, then we can say our machine is still accurate, but not precise anymore. Still accurate to achieve the target, but the variation is already high, not accurate, not precise anymore. So in this situation, of course, yeah, we need to fix our machine. Or the other condition, maybe the R chart is still good, but the X bar chart is not good. So we can say our machine is not accurate anymore, but still precise. Yeah, not accurate anymore, but still precise. So in this situation, also we need to maintain our machine. That's why, yeah, we need to develop both control chart in order to control the accuracy of the machine and to control the preciseness, yeah, the preciseness of the machine. Okay, so then like this, yeah. One, yeah. When we use X bar chart, maybe some of the data already out of control. So in this situation, we cannot say the machine is still accurate. Yeah, already the target already saved from the main target. Yeah, but from the R chart, still good, still okay. So if like that, we can say that the machine is not accurate anymore, but still precise. Okay. The second condition, yeah, X bar chart still good, still okay. There is no data out of control, but in R chart, there is data that out of control. So if like this, yeah, we can say that the machine, yeah, still accurate but not precise anymore. And then, yeah, okay, sudah. That's all, yeah, for our explanation this evening. Is there any question before we terminate our class, please? No? If no, I remind you again, yeah, I already upload the assignment today. So I give you 1 week, yeah, to finish it. Yeah, so by next week, yeah, before the next class, you need to submit, yeah, your answer, yeah, for our assignment. Yeah, it is about Monte Carlo simulation. Yeah, I already upload as well the spreadsheet and the Excel file, so you don't need, yeah, to enter again the data manually. You just use my Excel sheet. Then you can develop, yeah, your simulation using same Excel sheet and that. Okay, sudah. Again, is there any question, please? Yes.
Yeah, you said there is 2 ways to calculate the lower and the upper limits, right?
Yes.
I mean, in the exam, is it okay to use anyone, or you want to specific one?
Up to you. You can choose the easiest one.
Okay, thank you,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay, then any question again, please? No question? If not, then I think we can terminate our class, yeah. If you still have question, you can discuss with me through our Google Classroom. I will try to answer your question. Okay, let's close this class by reciting hamdalah together. Alhamdulillah, rabbil alamin. I stop share, ya. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome. I will upload my slide to Google Classroom as well. After that, you can download, yeah. Then you can study by yourself.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, students, stay healthy. Yeah, end the meeting.